Hi Alan, lovely to meet up with you yesterday and begin working on your game. Apologies for all the lines on the screen at the starting point, but judging by your session yesterday, you're quite familiar with what all these lines relate to now. And basically your session concerned your ability to work the lead shoulder down, keeping your inclination to the ground, so keeping your head in the box, and then obviously controlling where the club then ended up at the top of the backswing. We did talk about the downswing a little bit, spending a little bit of time hitting a few shots, just little punch shots, little chip shots forward almost from a full setup, with the trail leg nice and straight and keep it straight throughout, just to help sort of feed things, some good things into your downswing without bogging you down too much with the downswing, because there's no two ways about it. With the changes that you're going to make and have made in your backswing, there's going to be a period where you're going to have to let the dust settle on the downswing, just until the hands and the body get used to doing much less, which is a nice thing but can take a little bit getting used to. So originally the swing was, as we see here on the far left, club rolling behind us, head starting to lift very early, and picture the shoulders leveling out too soon. So you can see that the shoulders, rather than turning on a tilted angle at 90 degrees to our inclination to the ground, which is the blue arrow, they're leveling out very quick. You see the right shoulder working under, the left, right shoulder working up, left shoulder working under that blue line. So shoulders to level, causing us all sorts of problems when we get to the top. If we look at one of the model swings that we can use, either onto Mayan, or we were using Charlie Way at the studio, but it's the same sort of thing, we can see that the hands don't roll as independently. The lead shoulder does work down more. The shoulder's turning on a tilted angle at 90 degrees to the original inclination to the ground, and as a result the shaft sets differently, but more importantly the head stays in the box. So we actually related, we got right into the nitty gritty of this and talked about, yes, that is happening, with the shoulders are working up, the head is raising, the club is rolling behind us. But the biggest difference between the two swings is the rate at which and the timing of which accumulator 3, the back of the lead hand, loads during the backswing. So the key thought for you is to control the rate at which accumulator 3 loads on the way back. So you can see here, I'm just going to walk you through this. This is the first time we did it. Zero loading of accumulator 3 creates a club that is more in front of the hands, less rolled open to the arc, and more importantly from your case, gets the lead shoulder working down and allows you to maintain your inclination to the ground in a much more appropriate manner. From there, as I'm illustrating there, the club can then start to set and work upwards, but a much different look at that point in regards to the head, the shoulders and the back of the lead hand. Towards the end of your session, things started to really look good. This is you rehearsing now. The instruction you were given here, and I've sent the images over that relate to this, was to prolong the zero rotation of accumulator 3 for as long as you could during the backswing. So here we're trying to feel like we're maxing out the idea of zero rotation. So we're not going to let the lead hand load at all at any point during this backswing. And we're also going to feel like we just make a 3/4 swing. So you can see there now the club's starting to work nicely up the hand plane, nice and square to the plane at that point. Lead shoulders working down, head staying in the box. We then start to elevate the club more. Shaft set's a little bit steep because of what we're working on, so don't worry about that too much. Lead shoulder continue to work down. Still no thought about what the shoulder's doing. The shoulder is working down more as a consequence of what you're doing with accumulator 3. Now, I rate that position very highly at the top. I think that looks really good. It's quite scary actually for a 19 handicapper. That's unbelievably good. And if you compare that to where you were were the shafts much more laid off. The lead hand's been rotated and twisted much more, and the lead shoulder has popped up, pushing your head out of the box. So massive improvement. Now that obviously is a rehearsed swing, so that is you maxing out the feel that you need to work in between now and when we get together in the early part of May. The swing that followed that was a slightly better version of the swing that you made, and for the first 2/3 of this swing it's dramatically better. I mean, the first move away from the golf ball here is going to be the envy of a lot of people looking at this channel, because this is really good. As the club moves away from the ball, there's no independent rolling of accumulator 3. The club starts to trace the hand plane without opening up, then starts to elevate from waist level. Lead shoulder still working down more than it did, and then the old habit sort of kicks in later. So what we talked about was that we need to do the same mechanics, but just do them for longer. If I stop you at that point, go back to the original swing, you can see how much less accumulator 3 has loaded by the time the lead arm is parallel with the ground. So much improved swing, much better inclination to the ground, much better work with the lead shoulder. And the main swing to focus on is the rehearsal swing in this sequence, where you max out the feeling. We're not worried about hitting the shots, we're not trying to control things too much down on the ground. We're just concentrating on the key move that we're looking for. Great position, that one. Keep working that in, try and max it out as often as you can, and you're going to see some great results. Well done, and I look forward to working with you again in early May. As I said on the day, if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask, just feel free to find me an email. Thanks very much, and well done.